This is the brand new Ride1Up Portola. This electric bike ships as a class 2 bike, which means that it can go up to 20 miles an hour on pedal assist or with the throttle, or you can change it to be a class 3 e-bike so that you can get up to 28 miles per hour when you're using pedal assist. So the bike has an MSRP of $995. That is for the 48 volt, 10.4 amp hour battery. That's a 500 watt battery. If you want a slightly larger battery, one that is a 643 watt hour battery, you'll just pay $100 more. So that will be $1,000.95. So $995 or $1,095, you get a really nice electric bike. And in fact, they're selling the first 50 of them for $100 less, so you can get it for $895. That is an amazing, amazing bargain. It's kind of surprising to me that they're able to do this, but Ride1Up has the ability to do that. They're one of the companies that put out really good quality bikes at a really affordable price. Now, electric bikes have electric motors. Here's the electric motor. This electric motor is a 48 volt, 750 watt gear hub motor. It's not the most powerful motor around, but it's going to do the job just fine. Again, it goes up to class 3 if you want it to, and it puts out 65 newton meters of torque. Now, 65 newton meters of torque is plenty for most situations. It's probably a little bit low, a little bit light for the hills that I have in my neighborhood, but it should be fine, and I'm looking forward to riding it and testing it out shortly. The bike has front suspension, 80 millimeters of travel. It has a hydraulic lockout and 110 millimeters of dropout. And you can adjust the shocks right here or lock them out. So you can give yourself a much harder ride, or you can make it much, much softer, depending upon the ride you like and the terrain that you're going on at the time. The integrated cadence sensor has 24 magnets, and I went out just very briefly already on the bike, and it actually is really responsive. We'll test it out a little bit more, and we'll know a lot more, but it does seem to be very, very responsive, which impresses me quite a bit. Also, I mentioned the brakes before. You can see the handles for the brakes. I love this style. It's a little more motorcycle-ish, and it's very, very comfortable. You have these really nice rubber ergonomic grips. Very, very comfortable. I'm really impressed. You've got an 8-speed Shimano Altus shifter right here. It's not Shimano's most expensive, fanciest, most premium shifter, but pretty much every e-bike that I've had except for my Rev 1, which doesn't have any shifting, it's a single speed bike. Everything else has had a Shimano derailleur and shifter, and it's been just fine. So you've got the shifter right up here, and the derailleur is right back here, and you can see the Shimano Altus name right there. One of the things I love about this bike is that they put a thumb throttle on it, and they put it on the left. It's actually really good for me because I've got some issues with my right hand, and I like it more than the partial grip twist throttle. If they did a full twist grip the way they do on a motorcycle, I'd be fine, but I really don't love the partial grip, that twist that a lot of them have. So I really appreciate having a thumb throttle like this, and you have a nice little, fairly basic controller. I don't need a big color fancy controller. I really don't. I just need to know how fast I'm going, what gear I'm in, how much battery I have left. This is just fine for me. It'll do the job just fine. Then you have the other grip right here. The handlebars are slightly flared, which I like. What's a little bit problematic is that you can see how it tapers like this. It makes it difficult to attach a phone mount here because there's not a lot of space. It'll get in the way, but we'll figure that out. That won't be a problem. So let's talk about the tires for a second. A lot of the folding bikes that I've seen have a 20 by 4 inch tire. These are actually a 20 by 3 inch cross-country low tread tire. I actually like the fact that they're a little bit thinner. They're not gonna give as much smoothing out of the ride as you might get with a 4-inch tire, but I like the look. I think it's a little bit sleeker, and I also like the fact that it's a little bit lighter, and it makes the bike a little bit more compact, which is what you want when you're dealing with a foldable bike. One of the things that really impresses me about this bike right out of the box is the fact that it's under $1,000, and yet it comes with a nice integrated headlight, comes with aluminum fenders. Here's the other aluminum fender, and this really nice integrated rack on the back, which is part of the bike. It's not slapped on there afterwards. It's integrated into the bike itself, into the frame, and it can take up to 130 pounds. You can actually buy a basket for it, or you can actually buy a seat if you want to take a kid along with you. You're not going to take another adult unless they're fairly light, but you can take a child with you and use the bike as a commuter bike in that way as well. Let's take a walk around the bike. Looks really nice from here. I love the way the integrated rack looks. A lot of times it just looks like it was thrown on there with a couple of screws. This is actually part of the bike's frame, part of what gives it rigidity, and I love that. I also love the mechanism here that they're using for folding it. It is a really solid mechanism, but it is really easy to unlatch it and then to fold it, which is nice. Some of the bikes I've had a little bit of a harder time with. And then once you do that, then you use the latch here and you fold down the handlebars. We'll show that in a moment. Here's something else that you don't see on a lot of other bikes. A quick release for the front tire, which I love. I haven't seen that on another electric bike, and I really appreciate that. And then you have the nice large 180 millimeter rotors for the brakes. You want larger brake rotors on an electric bike. You're going 20, 25, 28 miles an hour. You don't want to have weak brakes. You want to be able to have that stopping power. I also love the fact that it has integrated into it attachment points. So you can do a water bottle here. You can attach other things here if you like. You can obviously you can use the rear rack. And I also like this. This obviously is for rigidity and to help you pick it up as a handle, but I also think it just adds to the look of the bike itself. In addition, because it's a folding bike, the pedals fold up. Again, what really kind of blew me away is that it came almost entirely put together already, and I simply needed to add the handlebars onto it. All right, now we're trying the hills. This is what killed the first couple of scooters and e-bikes that I tested. They just didn't have enough power to make it up. Let's see how this does. I'm not feeling any slowdown at all. It's just powering through. This is not an insignificant hill, and it's just powering through right now. There you have it, the latest offering from Ride1. We're going to have a full written review over on Gear Diary within the next couple of days. This is Dan from Gear Diary. Thanks for watching.